Good afternoon, everybody. Today we have the unboxing of the Silvia S13. Who doesn't love a Silvia? I think we've all grown up watching them, all grown up seeing them, all grown up with them in anime. They are just an all-round awesome car that absolutely represents Japanese JDM and the 90s. Silvia's came out in a ton of different models. When I say a ton of different models, essentially the shape of the car stayed the same. So there was a lot of tuning shop variants as well. There was just so many different, well, not heaps of different engine combinations. There was the 1.8 litre CA18 in turbo and non-turbo format. There was the SR20 in turbo and non-turbo format. Both of those variants were available in manual or not manual, so auto. Some tuning shops took over. I mean, I know Autech. Autech did them in a convertible. They used the basis on the most cheapest chassis, the CA18 non-turbo chassis. However, we were to find out later on that those were the chassis that actually ran the aero front bar, which is quite expensive these days, and the bricks, the J's front lights out of the J's version or the Jack version. So you had the Jack, Queen, King, and then you had the Almighty, which was the Ace. So you had those four variants. You had many different colors, like I touched on yesterday. From Seafoam green in two-tone right through to TH1. I think they may have been in 326 as well. There was some various greys, champagne over gold, many of the two-tone series as well. They were just an all-round beautiful car. Some of them came out with aero plastic side skirts, and they came out with an aero little rear pod as well, which is extremely hard to find. I think the last set I sold of those was about $1,200. Last aero bar, you're looking at about $2,000, and last set of bricks, as in J's headlights, they were $1,800. They came out with the teardrop wheel, or they came out with the actual SR20 peanut style wheel as well. I believe as well, they may have come out in a Steely back in 1989. So yeah, these were a 99 to 93, maybe 94. I've come across one once that was an 88. So I don't know whether that was just a misstamp, but I've come across an actual Silvia that was a 1988 model. Came out with various interior differences as well. You had the brown or you had the black. You had a digital heads-up display on most of the CAs, which also reflected actually on the windscreen as well. It had a small square of reflective tape. Those windscreens alone fetch about $1,000 now if you can find them. There was the brown interior, like I said. There was the grey interior. Nismo made a couple of different steering wheels for them. Nismo made a couple of different grills, I believe, for them too. There was one with a Nismo logo in the front, and there was a Nismo logo down in the bottom left-hand passenger side corner. They also made the old fabled pineapple front grille for them as well. They came out in a big letter front grille that says Silvia in big letters. That denoted that you had the SR20. In the smaller Silvia, that was a CA18. And I think Hippo Sleek came out as well with a light-up Silvia front grille as well. D-Max came out with some clear rear tail lights. I don't know if anyone else came out with any aftermarket rear tail lights. Came out with a couple of variations of the boot spoilers. You had the CA one, which is the squarer one, and then you had the SR one, which is the surfboard type one, rounded at the edges. Didn't come out with any factory rear windscreen aero like this one has. But yeah, they came out in multiple different variations, and they were a modder's dream. An absolute modder's dream. Our favourite thing to do back in the day was CA18 manual turbo, rip the turbo off and get yourself a GT-IR turbo, which was the biggest turbo, T28 turbo you could find back in the day. Those turbos would absolutely rip. In hindsight, it's probably like putting a T51 7Z on there from Trust. They just went crazy. Give them, 18 pounds of boost, and just being such a light car, I think they tipped the scales at about 1200 or 1240. A phenomenal package of power to weight. They were just absolutely amazing. So I've been flamed already for calling these Matchbox cars, and Matchbox cars aren't Hot Wheel cars. Whatever, I'll call them what I want. And I've been flamed for opening the boxes funny as well. Once again, I couldn't care less. I'll open them how I want. Alright, doors don't open on this model. Wheels look a little bit candy, but it's got that really cool TH1 color about it, which is absolutely fantastic. Oh, they also came out with mirror wing aero. I actually make those mirror wing aeros as well, so if you want to check out my page on Instagram is OGJDM_aero, AERO, and it shows all my cars and everything on there. I don't expect people to have time these days to look up that kind of thing, but if you have a chance, you can look it up. Sorry, I got a bit of black texture on my hands. Once again, this car would look absolutely awesome if it was lowered down about an inch. Can't understand why Hot Wheels didn't do that, but hey, multi-billion-dollar company, who am I to say? Should have also came out with a little bit of camber as well. This one looks like it's rocking the CA front lip, which is came out on the pig-faced 180SXs, but everybody started to put them on the Silvias because they looked hot. Unreal looking cars. They have so much cult history to them. They are probably, if anyone ever says, JDM, what's your favorite car? I reckon 1 in 10 people, they're obviously going to say 34 GTR in Bayside Blue. Who isn't? That's one of our favorites for everybody. But saying a Silvia, a black Silvia manual SR20, oof, give me one of those any day. I know where there is one hidden in a barn. The guy lives, his son lives overseas. I've offered 20,000 for it. It is a CA. It is non-turbo, but it is a manual. In black, red Recaro front seats, and it has factory option Nismo square front foggies. It is an absolute beautiful car. So maybe one day I'll get it. I don't know. There's plenty of Silvias around. This is another one of those cars where if you jumped on car sales right now, and you spent 25, 30 grand, you could buy yourself literally a cult car. A cult car. You could attend all the shows, and I can tell you right now, from being over in Daikuko Fudo a few times in Japan, when you're at those car parks, the people aren't crowding around the Lamborghinis. They're not crowding around, I don't think there's any Paganis there. They're not crowding around even a Bayside Blue R34. They're starting to love that kind of thing. But you get a couple of Silvias in there, or a Datsun 1200 Sunny Ute with twin Webers on it, and they flock to it. They absolutely love it. So these kind of cars are going to get more and more expensive over in Japan. They are just a cult car, simple as that. And if you can find one in one of the fabled colors, which are like the two-tone, any of the two-tone colors, you are absolutely doing really well. I personally like the black in an SR20. I think they just look so gangster with the triple projector front lights. They came out with 3 different lights as well. We've explained the jacks, which were the cheapest car. They come out with the bricks, which is the most expensive light. And you got the triple beams, which were on the SR20. And then you have what we call the GT lights, where they've got the 2 round lights, and then they've got the squarer yellow light. But yeah, just absolutely great combos of cars. Modifications and aftermarket, get whatever you want. They are everywhere. And look at our little Silvia go. You got a pretty square back there with just a small spoiler, so we're half expecting to see a fair bit of wake there. I personally think that that rear screen wing, that is making a huge difference to it lifting up about a little bit off the actual boot spoiler there. So, wow, that probably is going to translate to real life, because that looks exactly how they kind of do. Let me just loosen this up a little bit. Let's get right in there and have a look. Oh, the Silvias. Silvia I love Silvia. I think it was the Japanese motorsport boys back in the day, Danny Verhumis and all of them, that absolutely made us love these. Have a look at what that front bottom lip is doing. That's diverting half the air around either side as well. We haven't seen that in one of the other cars yet. So a bottom lip, that's making a huge difference. But I'm really impressed with how that has lifted up the wake from the back there. That rear screen spoiler, that's amazing. Not only do they look good, but they probably work pretty well as well. Alright, I don't know if there's many of them that are going to be pulling 324 kilometers an hour, but hey, there probably is. Let's crank her right up to full speed. Look at that. Look at that little Silvia go. There was also two variants of the RPS 13 and the S13 that we probably didn't talk about too much yesterday. You've got the Sil80, and then we had a 1-Via or a 1-Bear. The Silvia, the Sil80 basically takes the front of a Silvia off, and it actually puts it onto the front of the 180SX. And they look fantastic. So good that a company actually made, I think, 200 of them. Everything bolts up, everything lines up. The only thing you've got to do is, when you do the 1-Bear conversion or the 1-Via conversion, you put the 180SX front on the front of the Silvia. You've got to cut out the back. You've got to make provision for the headlight on the 180SX to actually tilt back. So you've got to actually cut out a little bit on the rad support just behind the lights so that can tilt back. We've done a few of those. But yeah. There was also another variant that we wrecked. It's probably going on 10 years ago now. It was called the Euro version of the 180SX. Unbelievable. Everything. It was called actually a 200SX. So on the glass and all the badging and the rear badge and everything, it was called a 200SX. Yeah, it was a pretty cool car. It had plush carpet in it, so I don't know if that had anything to do with the Euro side of things. But it also had a mile/hour dash cluster that read in kph and mph. So yeah, that was the Euro version of it. It was pretty cool. Alright, let's sit her on 100. Let's see what this is going to be doing through the fog on the way to Melbourne. On the way to work. Look at that thing carving through there. Unreal. So yeah, that's just a little bit of information about the Nissan Silvia, guys. I've still got plenty of parts for S13 for both 180 and Silvia, so if you need any, hit me up on my Instagram on OGJDM_aero once again. Friend me. Unreal. If you got anything to do with these cars or you're passionate about any of them, hit me up. Hit me up if you need any parts or you just want to chat, or if you're trying to nut out something that's not working. I'm happy to help. Glad to help. I love these cars. I think we've got to preserve as many of them as we can. Yeah, they're just an all-around great car. So thanks, guys. I think I've got to slip in a little Honda Civic. I've had a request to do a Honda Civic, so I'm going to slip that one in probably between now and tomorrow. I won't make them the car of the day. They'll be added extras. And then remember, on a Sunday evening, guys, we are going to get our HKS, where is she? Our HKS R32 back, which I've got to try and find. It's the most expensive one. You'd think that I wouldn't lose that. Oh, here it is. Yep, so we're going to get the HKS one back on Sunday night. This Sunday night we're going to be boring out the intercooler where that's blocked there. So we're going to bore that out. And we're also going to put the rear R32 gurney flap on the back of the spoiler as well. So we're going to try those two aero things and see how it goes. I might even lower it down a little bit as well. And this thing's going to feature Sunday night. So if you got any ideas of what you want me to do with it, we can do anything to this one. Alright. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. It's obviously a passion of mine. I know everyone probably thinks it's probably pretty stupid and pretty geeky, but hey, if I talk to anybody about these cars and anyone learns anything, or if I learn anything new, I'm happy to go with that. So thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it.